Good morning, family. Hey, Sean B, God bless you too, my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for the kind gesture and the kind words. How is everybody doing? Come on, tell me how you feeling, guys, today in the chat, please, before we jump into having to, well, first of all, God bless the United States of America. It's a reason why you guys always see the background of my live is always that. Doesn't matter what we have going on in our system and all that. At the end of the day, this is everything to us, guys. So much love to all my fellow Americans out there, and much love to all my family from all over the world. Uh, whether you are in Asia, or whether you're in the Southern Americas, or whether you're in Africa, in the Middle East, anywhere in Europe, wherever you are on this planet, much love to you. Um, so, how's everybody feeling this morning? We got some cool things coming up. Tomorrow, we got some volatile market that is very stagnant in a very close range. But what I decided I actually want to do, as you guys have seen, some of you have been hip to AB doing some live trading throughout the weeks, in the past few weeks. And who's putting these faces? But basically, I'm gonna go ahead and try to go ahead and we're gonna fish for a live trade together today. And well, obviously, while there's no financial advice or anything, it's gonna be Sabah here. Well, right back at you, Ennis. Um, at the end of the day, it's not financial advice. I'm gonna be fishing, doing my thing for a day trade. I've done a couple in and out this morning, one in the SPY, one in Tesla. So maybe I could dip right back in and go right back out. I have a lot of things coming up this afternoon, so we won't be around for long. But most important thing is we will be looking at over AMC. We'll talk a little more about AMC. If you guys have any questions, we'll talk about them. We'll address some of these questions. In the same time, I will be in the background looking for something to get in and out so that I could enjoy the rest of my evening for today. As tomorrow is the important day for the CPI. Now, the close of today is going to be important because today we have Microsoft, Google, Snapchat. That's some of the notable ones that we know that are reporting earnings tonight after the close of the market. So those are going to be interesting. Mr. McCohen, good morning, brother. How are you? You see, I got some of my voice back, but it's still sore. So I'm gonna try to not be long and and talk a lot and all that stuff. So let's see. What do I have back here? Let me first get the screen going. Got it back there. All right. Like somebody's actually active today. They're loving that button. Are you hitting the like button just like that emoji? I hope you are, my friend. Get more and more of the family in here. I know I set up the live literally like 12 minutes ago, so many people are not going to get the notifications in time. Um, we're looking here. It's interesting. Google is a possibility of a trade today, or getting into for this week. So that's something I'm going to keep my eye on, just so you guys would know. Moderna, no. Apple is a possibility, but I'd rather do the SPY rather than Apple. It's just a lot more obviously risky, but in the same time, it's a lot more rewarding. So yeah, it was so open in the morning. As soon as the pre-market opened, I was hoping to jump right in. It's like pick up my order, pick up my order, and it was so funny. I didn't even have to rush it. It was so clear that it was gonna have a bounce from where the pre-market, uh, price action took it to. All the indicators were super blown out to the bottom. It was only going to be a very 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 easy trade to see exactly that it was going to go right up. Now, obviously, when people say right up, as in for a day trader, This move here for the SPY from the 453.84 to where it is right now, right there, when you put like three, four, $5,000 on there on the options, and it goes up like that dollar, and it even went up more to the 455 range. I was already out as soon as it hit that 454.76 because I've shown most of the family in here. For those of you who were in the lives last week, that this is an important zone that we're in as a support right here and as a resistance right here, and getting in right here underneath that support. I knew that this was in the pre-market, and once the market opens, that at least the support was not going to be broken down this easily, because it wasn't a straight breakthrough. It was just a ladder attack, kept coming down, kept a little more selling. Algorithms purposefully bringing it down to that zone. So I anticipated all the support and the buyers to defend this area as soon as possible. And that's when, as soon as the market opened, I got my calls. And right as soon as it touched, it barely tapped that resistance level. I could have waited more for this. But again, from here up to here in the options world, that's pretty sizable. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. You guys will, many of you will understand more and more as the days come by. Many of you have been throughout the lives almost every day, so that you are now on a different level of understanding some of these things. Javi the Great, there you go. Here's the great one. Mr. Righteous, good morning, AB. Let's go AMC squeeze. Let's go. And I want many people to expect to see AMC the way that it is. I mean, honestly, we'll get into that in just a bit. But I want people to also tame the expectations as far as the quickness. I know we all want the rip to whatever, thousands or hundreds or whatever the price, or tens of thousands, whatever the price. I don't want nobody saying AB is going to say the price or give out a particular bracket or whatever it's going to go to. No, truth of the matter is nobody does. But expecting it to happen all in that one day, that's not going to happen that way, because you have the indicators like where it tells you like the money trail, like the money is being bought. The money being going in and then the money going out, and all the indicators were hot from that Friday aftermarket. Going completely berserk. 100% all in within less than an hour. So all that is happening right now is cool enough, as long as we defend certain levels, and I'll show you guys those support levels. We are good. We are very, very good as far as moving down the line. As long as somebody shuts Mr. AA in his mouth, I think we're even going to be better on both sides, whether the yes side, the no side. I think both sides will be much better with him keeping his mouth shut. Mrs. Chase, good morning to you. Nice to have you in here. Pabloco, what's good, brother? Pabloco, thank you for everything you do in the Discord, sir. Mr. Goose, how are you, sir? Thank you for sharing that video to Adam Aaron on his Twitter. Appreciate it, brother. Mr. McCone wants 2 billion. Why not, man? Why not? Hey, Droobs White. Good morning, brother. They see how corruption down the avenue. Who knows when we'll be through? Exactly. No one will know exactly when we'll be through. But now seeing these things, one thing I want everybody again to know, I will reiterate. Yes, up 100%. After hours, they do what they do simply because of a certain individual that instantly chose the perfect time to go ahead and launch their open letter of weakness, showing all the shorts out there how weak we are. Please, like, airing out basically the dirty laundry that we have within our community. However, in the same time, their lawyers submitting all these things have giving some hope to these shorts, thinking that it's going to be good. But guess what? The court goes on break in August, and therefore AMC doesn't want to be in this, and they want this whole settlement to go through before that time frame. And the judge simply told them, guess what? I don't think so. I've been telling you to pass this thing and get these things in order. There are some things that I've even asked you and you haven't answered to. So therefore, I'll go according to the time frame that we are going to get with right now, because you guys are all perpetrators that plays a big role into us still being here. Um, so don't let anybody try to get you because it's like a moment, you know. For me, it's all about the end goal. It ain't about that moment. Of okay, Friday, great. Today, what are we down? 9%. How expensive that is to them, it's. I'll put it in layman terms. We're up almost down 10%. As you guys can see, we are still, for the time being, above our 200 EMA. So being above the 200 moving average, you see this line right here, this blue line right here. We drew this about 3 weeks to a month ago. Some of you that has been in this, coming on a daily basis to these lives that we have, we drew this here, and this we just drew yesterday. But this we had as in last 3 weeks to a month ago, saying we wanted to close above 486. And guess what? That's where our 200 EMA is at, that 486. And then we right now we are right where we at 527. You might be thinking like, oh, it's not too far away, AB. But guess what? Bringing it down from 527 to 486 and even below, that requires a lot of more money than already where they at right here. 50-day moving average is up here. We are expected to at some point touch the 580s or the 575s at some point throughout, whether today, tomorrow, the day after, any of that stuff. But again, what all that would show me is initially it's almost like nothing, because one, here's the initial pop. Look, before that, let me take the moving averages out of the way. Before that, there's nothing to see. Look, it's a flat line. It's a dead entity. Barely. What is this? Like one skip, one beat. So what we need, oh, look, I accidentally moved the resistance line. Okay, so ultimately we need more data to back this move up. Right now, we came all the way right back here, but we didn't come back where we used to be or where we were. We still moved another floor or 2 floors up easily within this range right here. This is why this range is important. Before that, we were stagnant right down here. Now we're up here, but even better so, even ape. Not only are we up higher on the common side from where we used to be, but on top of that, we also have ape being up and higher than where basically it was just before this whole madness had started happening. So now we got 2 people picked up. The yes, the no, blah, 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 whatever side your agenda you're on, you're right there. You guys know where AB lies as far as where his agenda is. I'm more for the retail. I'm more for my investment. I'm more for the investment side rather than just mainly for helping out the company. Now, the company, we've done our thing, and the way I see it, we've done our thing, we've done more than enough for that, and even so, they still need more, no problem, but it cannot come at the expense of my own wipeout. We can't get wiped out in the pursuit of saving a company that will most likely come back looking for more. That's the case that happened back in 2021, and that's been the case since we came in to save them even before that. So I want to see a lot more from the company itself to do on its own, rather than just constantly looking back at me and opening its hand and saying, do this. But now it's not asking anything reasonable. It did it in 2021. It did it when it issued APE preferred shares. It did not sell the APE shares at the right price, with the excuse saying we didn't want our investors to think, or our retail investors to think, that we are the ones, because we sold it, it dropped in value. Well, we expected it to drop in value. You created it for the simple fact of dilution, so that you don't dilute our common shares. But now, not only did you screw us there, and now you're trying to screw us back in the actual hen house. So no, sir. For those of you who are blind to see those realities or those things, then hey, choose to do that at your own accord. You got your hubs and you got your stations that you could go to and enjoy all that kind of talk. Here, we're going to talk common sense, and we're going to talk of the things that could impact us as individuals, the people who no one else on that side cares about. So now being in this zone, even if this thing drops to the 486 level, and that would cost again a whole lot more. Look at this. In the pursuit of doing this, one, not only did we pick up in value, not did ape also pick up in value from the exotic drop that it had in the 60 cents. On top of that, they also cooled all our indicators off for us, which means now the floor is set almost in a bit. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to happen in 1 hour, or it's going to happen in 1 day, but the indicators are being completely cooled for what? For the next leg up. That's the only way that I see it, unless they have other plans on having another leg down, unless they know something that the company is talking to them about, or they're doing something shady behind closed doors. Or I don't know, maybe Adam Aaron comes out and cries some more and complains some more. I don't know. Whatever it is that they have in mind, I know that this is very good setup walking into this week, and then of course after the rate hike that is going to come, which is tomorrow, it's going to be important to see what happens exactly next week as well. The most and one big thing that also plays into all of this, family, is the fact that the market itself is overly inflated, and you guys heard me say this in so many different times. The fact that it's overly inflated, at some point this bubble is going to pop. Not only at some point, while I'm the person who's been calling for months on the all-time highs before anyone you could even think of, on the S&P 500 and broadly throughout the market. Now, guess what? I am also the same person who's saying nothing goes up like this without coming right back down. The best part about it is that this whole thing was completely fabricated and manufactured. The market is in a terrible place. The only thing that has been pumping the market, which is one thing that most people who even trade on a daily did not see, or why they're confused on why the market is up. Yeah, we are still in terrible downturn. Yes, the inflation coming down, but guess what? According to what metrics? That's changed the metrics that they measure the inflation by. That's one. Two, they only care about the core inflation, while the fact, like, they're not worried about everything, the whole image. That's two. Three, they were giving analysts and rating analysts a lot of leeway, telling them to upgrade their expectations. So if your expectations are realistic, upgrade them, please, at least about 40 to 50% higher. So that way, now imagine this is your ACs cranking out a lot of cold air, and then you like, you know what? I don't like too much cold air like this. You just go and crank it halfway down in cool air, and now it's pumping out whatever, 76, 78, 77 degree air that is coming out to you through the vents of the AC. Well, guess what? That's exactly what the rating agencies had to do, or the analysts that are rating these banks, rating these stocks, these companies. These companies like Carvana have terrible earnings. Terrible. I can't even begin to ask. Like it's like AMC is in one place, and like you could call that whatever, a level in hell as far as fundamentals, and Carvana is in the pits. And guess what? It goes up over 800% since year's beginning, and that simply is with no fundamentals, just the fact that they said that they postponed some of the debt that is due for longer. That's it. That's it. And most likely at that point, shorts have saw an opportunity. Like, you know what? This company is a cool short for a long time. This thing is not just going to go bankrupt now. This thing is going to go bankrupt later. So we'll go ahead and or pump it up in value. We'll invest in there, and then we'll turn around as more people are in, and we'll short it at the top, or whatever they consider the top is. Look at BBIG, for example. Great squeeze that it had yesterday. Is it over? Not necessarily. It's cooling off right now. But what is the catalyst that it had? It's the funniest catalyst you could think of. It received a notice of being delinquent. And receiving such a terrible notice like that results in a catalyst to the upside. That is to tell you some of the craziest things happen in this market is that it should also prove to you that the market does not necessarily operate on fundamentals. There's literally no fundamentals. If a company receives a letter like this, and on the same time, it's supposed to be bad, and it becomes the outcome is good. That's not fundamental. Tesla had great earnings. Guess what? The outcome was still bad for some odd reason. So therefore, Tesla drops. Now that you see the negative media floating around. First, it wasn't prior, but now it's floating around talking about Tesla is offering mortgage 82 or 86-month mortgages to people themselves. They're actually becoming the car dealerships of their own vehicles, so that because they see the interest rate hikes are high, so that less people are buying, even though they hit 80% extra more car vehicles delivered this past quarter, this past season. So therefore, seeing the fact that this articles and these media are coming out after to explain to you the reasoning of why the price is doing this, that is to tell you why, for example, when I told you right before their earnings that Tesla will be going down, Netflix will be going down, and they both, market closed, they both report great earnings, but the price went down. And now 2 days, 3 days later, the media, the negative media is coming to justify what is happening here. And where in reality there's no justification to it. It's just these people who control the media needed to get their job across. It's a whole Ponzi scheme. They got their money, they made their money, it was highly inflated, they pumped it, they bought their puts, they bought their shorting positions, they shorted it. And yes, they will short Tesla in the meantime and then close it right back up. It's all good. It's all nothing but love. The price dropped, they reached their level, they close out their position, Tesla goes right back up. A lot of people has a lot of misconceptions about how market dynamics works, and they compare it to whatever book or article or YouTube channel they've watched that explains to them, or they hold this YouTube character to a high standard, so therefore they just download everything that individual says, and as in it's approved and authenticated. All right. Buckeyes, there we go. Peace out to you, my friend. And belligerent ideas, there he is. Day 1130 in AMC and AA. Dude, that sounds like the movie I Am Legend, which is coming out, what, this November, I think? That's going to be a really good movie. I can't wait to watch it. That movie came out when I came out of high school. Yeah, that's how old I am. Uh, let's go, right, Mr. Righteous? All right. Let's I need to look now. I need to look at the market and see if I find any opportunities to mess with. Right now, AMC is still, the volume is still there. It's not that much, but again, it's over the average. Look, the average jumped up to 22 from like 16 million since this last Friday, simply because of that move. So now there's obviously, that is to tell you something, that there is interest, high interest in going on with this stock. We got our zone still right here. AMC. We'll keep AMC in the background. Let's look at this bad boy right here. This is a possible day trade right over here. So I'm going to be looking for Tesla to perhaps touch this level, which would be very exotic if it does at some point throughout the day. But the crazy part is that all the indicators here we have are practically just about shot. Just literally, because of the way that this thing is dropping in very volatile fashion, but it still has some room to go on a grand scheme of things. So it might be a good thing right here to get in, but it's, again, that's a might. So whenever you have a situation like this is a scary trade right here. While this looks like it's too much and it's due for a breather to go back up, crazy thing about this is that it's literally in between these zones that I've drew right here, between my personal demand and resistance and support zones. So seeing this right here, it's a coin flip right here. This trade is a coin flip. Could I go either way? It could go up here, but then turn around and go right back up here. I need to see different confirmation because I'm a trader that's a lot more conservative. I want to see confirmation points, not necessarily be greedy for the most amount of profit. While everybody wants that, but if, for me, if I'm able to constantly have a lot more green trades than any losing trades or stop losses, then obviously at the end, when you look right back at it, you are always 100% going to be accumulating more and making more profits rather than losing, and waiting for that big one or the big profits, or every trade has to be whatever X. In fact, even as risky as it is with the options world, um, it's something that you could get your 100% or 50% surge, and that could be very simple. Most people who get into the options world, because it is super lucrative when you're on the right side of things, is that they are no longer content with a 40% or a 30% or a 50%. They're always playing to see 200, 300, 400%. Everything becomes a short squeeze mindset. And obviously that's not manageable or containable. Let's see some things. This is not necessarily a support line right here or a trend line in general. This is just something that could be. It could act down the line, but it's still not yet. So this is the first point that it touches. So I'm gonna be, if I'm gonna do this trade right here, guys, I'm gonna be waiting for this first to pop right back up. And then when it comes right back down over here, that's when I will be taking that position. But I need to see confirmation. If it breaks past through this, then this trend line is nullified, and in the same time, I will be expecting different thoughts and strategies walking right back in over here. So let's put a reminder at my support. All right, we'll leave Tesla in the bag. Okay, good. Amazon is dropping too. This is really good. See where our SPY is. Consolidating in the upper band. See, the thing is right here, again, same thing with the SPY. This is too expensive for either way of whatever direction it's going to do, or risky in the opposite. So for example, if I wanted to get puts right here and it was, let's say, approved that it's going to be going down, then the problem that I would be having here is this thing is right at this resistance line that I've drawn personally. Now, of course, my technicals could be wrong, but I like to beg to differ. So anyways, so it's so close to here. So this thing, it would be very foolish of me to get in on a put position, even if it ends up doing so, but on a blind view kind of move. This thing is more rather closer to the upside than actually to the downside between my resistances and supports. So therefore, I would rather see a confirmation of breaking through here, come back to meet this and breaking from it again, and somewhere around here in the I would say like probably like 253.22 range is when I could actually make a bet to the downside, and it will be literally the next area to where it's going to be meeting support is at 452.21. So from this all the way to this, that's my chance of taking my profits and getting the H out, But this is not enough volume. Market maker wants to kill premiums right here. So at this point right now, it's nothing exotic. This is the point right here where the money was made. Made my profits right here, as I told you in the morning. This was the first trade, and instantly, as soon as it tapped this thing, I was already out. This beautiful setup, beautiful trade from the pre-market leading up to the aftermarket, the official markets. Got out with the premiums and got out with the profits. Continued to do some of this up here, but it was pointless for me at that point. I got my mission done. My mission was done on that trade, so we were good. Let's see, Nvidia dropped from that high on the day. Okay, so it looks like the markets are loading up. Apple is also dropping from the high on the day. So for the second, we can come back over here and talk for a second while the market is doing its thing. Alice, good morning to you. Let's see. Let's see. What else? What else do we have? AB, I think, good morning, AB. Let's see. Okay, AB, I think AMC will be shorted below 5 today and then run a bit. Day traders, I mean, most day traders are out before the bell opens. If not, the last few of them most day traders trade pre-markets. Now, that's as far as retail. Once the market opens, the last of them leave by 10 o'clock. Reason why that is because now the person who's day trading, not only are they competing against the pre-market crowd, which a big portion of traders do not have access to pre-market globally, that is. So you're only trading against certain amounts of people. So many day traders love only the pre-market because of the possibilities and the odds are more for them than against them because of how many people are also trading. But once it hits open and the market is open, now it's open for everybody. Now you're fighting against, like, if there's a piece of cheese or which I'll have something funny to say about the cheese. But if there's a piece of cheese, or let's say we're birds and there's a worm, that one worm, now there is, instead of just whatever 10 birds coming to fight or flock over that worm, now you got a million flocking in, and they all see that worm and they all want a piece of it. So it won't be because of day traders, trust me. It will be from algorithmic trading and dark pool action if they do bring us between or underneath 5, but it will cost a whole lot of them to do so. Now, can they do it? I don't know their finances. They know their finances. The end of the day, it's the long game. They're trying to squeeze us out of our positions. We're trying to squeeze them out of theirs. Of course, we have no advantages. It almost feels like, and it is actually probably the truth, where we have our own board acting against us as well. Not only that, but on their end, instead of a fair fight, they have all these forces that are helping them. The law is looking the opposite direction. So many elements that are not available to us, but they're available to them, and we're not allowed to use these methods or have access to any of these methods. But they all have those on the other side. It's allowed for them. So it's like going into a boxing match, and they have a gun with them underneath the glove, but we're not allowed to do so. We are only allowed to fight with our gloves. So I ain't worried. I ain't too pressed. I'm good. I got my positions. I'm good. I keep adding to my positions. I do my thing. Day trade, that's what keeps me very sane and very cool and very level-headed. calm and moving forward, because being stuck in the same conversation sometimes makes, like, since it's not moving nowhere at that point, and if it's a deadlock, it could get the worst out of you. It could get anger out of you, and I will never want to be that person, you know. So before it gets to that, I'll be chilled, I'll be cool, and I'll make my money while they're doing this. Trust me, they're doing is making it much more valuable for me later as I continue to add more. And if they truly try to screw us completely through it, I know that for a fact that whatever that screwage comes, or that dagger, is not going to come directly from them, because they cheated throughout their shorting. They shorted overly. They needed the government's help. They needed the Fed's help. They needed everything. They needed the bank's help. They needed the entire system's help. If the dagger comes, trust me, it's always going to come from within. The dagger, and that's the reason why it's called betrayal, because it's from the sources you trust most. Otherwise, it's not betrayal from the ones you don't know. We can't say Ken Griffin betrayed us. We don't do anything with him. Ken Griffin didn't do shit with us. We know he's an enemy, so therefore he's not going to betray us. Our walls, our defense walls are raised high when it comes to him, because we know what he wants to do with us and how he means for us. But as far as when I say betrayal, it could either be our own community from within, splitting or doing some other stuff that were not part of the general sentiment of what this whole movement was about. And on top of that, perhaps from leadership areas or sources where they have, or they've been giving so much trust, like they've been entrusted so much, and all they could do at that point is, once you're betrayed, trust me, you won't have anything and no time to react to it. All you're going to do is take that stab, and hopefully you learn a lesson from it at that point. If you're going to retaliate or do anything, trust me, guys, history remembers those individuals as the people who will be locked up and thrown in prison. So not only will things already be bad, it will only be worse for you, and you will be labeled as such and such and such and such. So Aliyah, how are you doing, my friend? Attendees, yes, everything is well. Thank you for asking, my friend. Smith, they want nothing more than to keep this game going. Well, for now, yeah, they want this game to be going, because if it ends, it only ends wrong for them. It's weird. They want the game to keep going, but at the same time, they want it to end. In other words, they want it to keep going so that they don't meet their demise right now at these levels. But they are so eager to close or get out of this position, or to get out of this madness on their own conditions and on their own terms. So it's weird how they want this, but they can't have this until they have that. Rob Dale, ABU cool. Well, welcome to the channel, Rob. Thank you, brother. I bet you are even cooler, sir. To have drowned White House, yeah. Hey, man. I know I'm not in that. I'm glad I'm not in that business or in that career. Hey, Jay. What up, AB? Needed good laugh this morning. Just finished listening to you and Mike's. I'm glad you got a rise out of that, Harry. Good morning to you, sir. Uh, John, good morning, sir. You're having it with with the belligerent ideas. Well, good luck. The name says it all. Oh my god! If this play had run with integrity, I would have collected profits and bought back in with all my support. But now I will go and never look back. Hey, you know what, Smith? You're not the only one that is saying this. Like, why do you think in my letter, my open letter to Mr. Adam Aaron, why do you think I said what I said the way that I said it? I tried to open the door for him for perhaps finding his way back. Since clearly, in my humble opinion, I think he lost his way a long way ago. I've opened up a door to try to find his way back in. He can. He's more than welcome. He still can be that man. He still can be that silverback. Do the right thing, and yes, there's this door. I'm giving you the opening. I want him to see that letter, that video. I want him to see that. But I don't think that's something that's within his interests, or it doesn't align with his pockets. So therefore, it is what it is. All we could do as messengers is put the message out, and it's up to the people to grab it, you know? Baby laughed when you said Barbie was going to start the MOS. Almost, bro. No inside info. Do you know? No inside info, man. No inside info. All right, let's look back up here. Let's see what's happening. Apple's climbing right back up. Let's turn these on. Okay. It's not a lucrative idea, like, you know, trade yet. If there is, clearly the market for today, mainly for today, not every day. That's the thing about day trading. There's so many different time frames you got to look for. All right. That's our Apple. For today, looks like there's a lot of interest, a lot of buying zone. Every time it touched here, barely, like there was some aggressiveness down here, but it was all gobbled up around that 193.25. So now, if I was to pay attention to this, I'll go like this. It was to have a weird exotic drop right down here. Right here, I have no interest in it. It's not even if I end up going in right here and being correct, it's not as lucrative. Like my bet, if I was to go in here, it will be to actually play puts on Apple right in this range. But again, it's too risky right here because there is no, like, the odds, the risk and reward here is like against you as a trader. This thing, the risk here is that this thing could ends up going up to hit its resistance up here, and perhaps even breaking past it before it coming back down. But at that point, getting in here, that means I'm done. Like there's no way this thing is most likely at that point will be getting back down here. And even if it does, the break even of my strike price would have to be almost $1 or $2 less, which means I would need the price to continue to come down here. What are the odds of that happening? Like almost 89% not gone to if this case happens. So therefore, again, as you can see, I have no upside here for whatever. Even if I wanted to go on calls as well, it's the same thing. It's the risk and reward is not worth it here, because right here, I could have my moving averages right here, and the MACD could inverse, and this thing could come right back down to meet its 50-day moving average on the day. And next thing you know, I'm over here like, oh shit, please go back up, go back up, go back above this. And if it starts making a trend of lower lows and lower highs at that point, then I'm never going to see that price for the rest of the day. So therefore, I would have to be forced to hold it to the end of the week. In the same time, be stressed out throughout the night. In the same time, I would have to average down and buy some more to bring down the price if I truly believe in that strike price being broken. But rate hikes are tomorrow. All that stuff in play, that's too much headache. Hell no. I'll rather get in somewhere where I see a lot more confirmation and much more reward for the least amount of risk. Sean B, AB, I found you a month ago. Really appreciate your input and coverage. I know you have a boy's name. I know I have a boy's name. I'm a girl, I'm a wife and mom, and an AMC ape since May 2021. So glad I found you. Hi, chat. Sean B. Well, how are you doing, ma'am? Hopefully that in the future, whenever you pop up, hopefully I continue to remember Sean B is a lady. So please, if I get confused and refer as sir in the future, I'm speaking message from AB's present to AB in the future. Don't misunderstand it. I just want to refer to the people as I see the names. But for now, how are you, ma'am? And I am more excited that you have joined the family. Welcome to the family. Thank you so much for all the kind words you mentioned. It's been long due, and I'm glad you actually finally found it. AB just started to journal trades. What are some things you note when journaling your trades? Man. Rob Dale. Uh, thank you, Sean. um, Look, John Sings is having fun. You stay, Rob Dale. Just stick along with the family, yeah, and you'll see where the journey will take us. See, like, look, the volume now is completely dead. All this buying action here, the market maker seen that there was something that needed to happen like this in order for the um, premiums that they're gotta take care of at the end of the week, or even throughout the day, because they're not only against the expiry date, they're against the day, the every single day, as the percentages being up and down, and they know their algorithms is programmed to obviously deal with things the way that they want it to. Okay, right here we have, this was a grab back down here. But if this caps right there and it does not, yeah, this is a weird choppy action. You see, we got the high, then we got a low, then we got like a high right there, then we got a lower low, now we got a lower high. That's very choppy. It's not very indicative as to where, and that's why, again, either way, it's in between all the indicators as well. I see my RSI still above average. My MACD is an indicator that reacts to the fact of the matter. So it's not by itself, it cannot really point out something. So this right here is also not a great trade. Google, what have you got for us, Google? Who likes Google? Who likes Chrome? Google is very stable. Right before the earnings in the after hours, this pop here back on the 17th could very well be the pop that actually is for the earnings. But and then when they report something good, surprisingly, people will be surprised, like, oh, look, it dropped. Why? I'm surprised. I got calls. But the reason why you would see sometimes these big cap stocks, the market understands that a lot of people will look at these when their earnings are around. Teslas, Amazons, Googles, and so forth, and Nvidias and Apples. So therefore, most of the times, the initial move that reacts to the true nature of the earnings is actually comes in ahead of time. And that's why after the earnings, the opposite effect could most likely be the case. Now, it's not always the case, but most of the times, from my personal experience, I've seen that being the case. Now, of course, you got to pair that up with a bunch of data, with a bunch of course, you're not going to have access to actually their actual earnings, but your own data, what you see here, what is the money? These charts, people, are not just lines that we're looking at, or candles. This is explaining what's going on with the money. What is the market as a whole? You know, and remember, stock could be one thing, and it could We all, like a stock right now, if let's say there's like the whole world, like, let's say how many people are in the world. Somebody put it in the live chat right here. Put it in the chat. How many, who knows the population of this world that we're in? What, 6.5, 7 billion, something like that? Carl Coates, what's up, brother? I got you, belligerent ideas. Thanks for the abbreviation and then the word, the wording. Belligerent ideas. How many people are in the world? Come on. Thank you, Aaliyah. Oh, well, hello there to our. I'm sorry, I don't know how to read that, but I do know that the most people in the world live right where that same language that you just put right there. I'm assuming here. You probably put like, "Hey, we got the biggest piece of the pie where I'm from." But much love to you. I can't even read the name. Sorry, but thank you, Aaliyah. It's 8 billion. So if right now 2 billion people of those 8 billion dictates, or let's say 3 billion, 3 billion prices gold at $100. Let's say the other five comes in and says, oh, okay, thank you, Buckeye Ace. We'll go easier with 8 because it's a good estimate for the example. Here comes the other five, and the other five says, no, I don't think so. Gold is worth $40. Guess what? The price of gold is going to be less than $100. It's going to be closer to the $40 range because the markets dictate what the value of something is. Even if you think your value, and this applies mostly to homes. Home, you look at the home, it's your own home. Let's say it's your own home and you want to put it on the market. You know that the home is worth this, that, and all that kind of stuff. But if the market that you're selling the home in at that very time, place and time is evaluating homes in general and your home at a much lesser value, then guess what, my friend? Unfortunately, you have to succumb to the ideology or to the narrative that your home will be worth much less, or what the market is willing to give for it. And that's one thing also that many people are having either a hard time, or they just don't understand the idea that yes, fundamentals great, fundamentals good for longevity, yes, to survive good, and all that. But if the market is saying this about you in general, and it's acting against you and is trading you at this, then you are going to trade as that, whether you like it or not. Exactly, Peter. What's up, Peter? But exactly, it's only worth what someone is obviously willing to pay for it, and specifically the majority. So let's look here at our Google and see what is happening. Let's take these out. The crazy thing, or the cool thing about Google, is that it rarely goes through gapping effects like this right here. When it hit that high, that is a very rare phenomena for stock like Google. Because why is it a very rare phenomena to happen? It's not just because it's called Google. It's because the market cap on this thing is huge. Huge. You're talking about the free float is 1.34 trillion. And that's why it's around this price. In the same time, at the very same time, it's constantly being traded. So if somebody wants to, let's say, put a dent in Google, this is what they got to look at. It's hard to either buy up the float to send it high, unless you're putting in, you're talking about billions of dollars, billions and billions and billions of dollars. And even then, you will only be responsible for what, 1% move, and that's huge. But is it worth putting all these billions? You can go make a lot more money elsewhere. Or shorting, on the other hand, you would have to go short like crazy in order for you to bring it down. And again, you would have to imagine like going into Google and like you want to open up a short position. And I'm not talking about these day trade short positions where people go short here. As you can see, algorithms buy up, go short, buy, short, buy, short, like all these. No, none of that. I'm talking about actually shorting, like us AMC shorting Google. And of course, people will say, well, it's not wise. Google is a big company. It's one of the biggest companies. It's Google and all that stuff. Well, guess what, my friends? If somebody has enough artillery and enough power and is not also afraid of the hierarchy of Google, and in fact, if thieves are not also not doesn't have a hand or a piece of the pie inside of Google, then trust me, when thieves want something, they will join forces and they will bring them down. But again, look at what costs. That market, that free float is monstrous. This is why companies love going up high on stock, like what Tesla did, what Amazon did as well. It's like going up high in stock and then do a forward stock split. Like this right here, NVIDIA, is bound to do one. And mark my words and come back to fact check AB when it happens. They will most likely do a forward stock split, bringing their value down, not at this particular point right here, but they will do that so that they can increase their float and have more people buying a piece of NVIDIA, but in the same time, it becomes a lot more sturdy and safe and guarded against crazy hawk attacks, like whether somebody who wants to run up the price, squeeze it up and then get out of it, and then basically guarded against volatility, unless they're the ones who are issuing it. All right. So Google, sorry, this is NVIDIA. I was like, what? Google is up 3%. That's too crazy in one session. You're making lower highs. Here we go with the SPY. This is the moment. Is it the moment? Let's see. Okay, so this is an important thing, a clue that the market just gave us, people. So this is the overall, what I think is going to be still like the broad resistance or support. But on a daily level now, we have to look for this to be broken, which basically it broke a while ago throughout the day, but it respected it. It didn't continue to go past it. So therefore, this is still valid. We have to come back, test this, and not break under like this, like that happened over there. I need for this to come back down and then not break below this. So if it does, then I got a little something for him. That's why this line is right here, right there, right now. So right now, earlier, this would have shown up here. See, it just made a day high right there. This would have showed somebody right here that it's good to get the 553 strike price. If they followed through and they just got out right here instantly, they would have made a good amount of money, depending on how much money they put in. Good amount. Perhaps around 15-20% at least, at the very minimum. Now, if they didn't, and they're expecting it to go further because all the indicators were high on the buying and it's supposed to cool off even more, well, that's when market maker comes into play and says, let me take you to the park real quick. So they'll move it up, as you can see, over a long time. Like they will put pause, slow it down. Like when some of you view my AB's videos, you don't put it on pause, you put it on 2x or 1.5x. But in this case, the market maker says, no, let me take this back to a negative 1.5 or 2x. Now your premium and you're getting hedged out of your strike price, because at the end of the day, the 453, it only touched it so far once, and not only did you when you got it over here, now not only do you want it to go back to 453, you need to go down to 452, and most likely around 11 to 15 cents, because it depends on how much you bought the premium for that option. Once again, you add that to the break even, to the strike price. So the strike price is 453 that you buy, for example, hypothetically speaking. Then next thing you know, the premium, you bought it for a certain amount. You subtract that if it's puts. You subtract that from the strike price, and that's where your break even will be on your contract. Now with the SPY, there's dailies and there's weeklies. Amazing for profits and amazing for a lot of good deals and risk and reward, of course. But like I said, hint that that word risk. It's not just reward, risk, since it's daily. So like this would end today, and next thing you know, the person is going to be like, oh shit, I'm screwed. Now people are saying like, why would certain people play daily? Well, because it's a lot more cheap on the premium than to have to buy even the weeklies or the monthlies, and it becomes like that because the premium will increase dramatically. So the reward is much higher on a daily, but the risk is indeed also much higher. So if you're going to be that individual who plays that and do that, then you need to be a lot more conservative, because this is the place you go to where literally like it's a playground, and the market makers are all using their what do you call those? Their hoverboards, hoverboards, and they're all just playing around there, and they're all flying on their thing. You're in their park. 7.8. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, my friend. Thanks. Hey, what's up? Jam Bams is in the house. How are you doing, my friend? Nice to have you in here, Jebs. What is going on here? What are we apologizing for? Oh, deleted stuff by mistake? Okay, 1 second. I'm watching here. All right. John is like, maybe did you get in contact with Menace? No, I haven't. I did say what I had. I gave him his props and all that stuff. I'm not, it's not about the hat, John. It's about the fact that when he made that video, I didn't know about it until like a month and a half later, literally. I'll buy a hat from Menace store to support. It ain't about getting the hat. But yeah, no, I said what I've said, and he knows where I'm at, and I'm pretty sure he's a busy man. He's an interestingly funny and an amazing individual. I can feel people's energy, and plus he does a lot of things. And as I've kind of seen into him, he does a lot of like he used to do hip hop in the day back in the days, and he's got the persona for it too. And he does a lot of promoting, as far what I've gathered. So he's a pretty interesting and great individual. And from what I've gathered, he also cares about the movement. He's down with the people. All right, I'm looking at the SPY right now. AMC down 12%, the lowest so far of the day. I just spotted it. Okay, let's look right here for a second. We need to, AB has to get quiet for a minute to see setups. Okay. See how this for the past few days has been making higher highs, higher lows. This is a good setup, a cool setup. I've done my thing in the morning, but this might be very cool for the release of the press conference of the rate hike tomorrow. I think that would be a very, very cool setup. I mean, this is not something that one I don't like as much as in the way that it's moving like this. I can still squeeze something out of this, which is interesting. Let's see the broad market. Microsoft up 1%, surprisingly before the earnings. It's interesting. Tesla's rebounding from the 265 range. Oh, wow, look. This was a line right here, a trend line that I drew a long time ago. Still not a valid one all the way because this is only the second time it touches it, second point. So it's I need another move and then another touch. So we'll see. Here, I'll extend it a little bit more for the future. Okay. AMC. Volume 31 million, so completely dead. What happened? What's happened with the cryptos? Oh, okay. Not much. SPY still moving up. I like this. 52-week high was last week, but the all-time high is not far away from that. It's only $12 away from that, indeed, actually. There you go. Keep going. Do your thing. We'll only make it easier. Hey, common sense investor. What's up, CSI? Did I catch anything yet? I caught a couple this morning, man, earlier. But I'm looking to catch something right now. Just we have to be very patient and go for the fish that we catch, or the I guess the low hanging fruit. Hell yeah. Elias cleaning up the trash. Well, we've got I will never refer to you guys as such, but you guys, I get the memo, or like who you cleaning out for sure. You and a bunch of individuals who are more than amazing, the most interested people in literally in this whole YouTube life for me. XLM is almost printing for you. Hell yeah! Wait, well, I don't know. I'm not. I'm not gonna tell you what. Wait for what or whatnot. But I bet you can't wait until you see what it can do for you. Depending on what how the outlook that you have for XLM, um, it's something that will, like, for some people they're looking at it as long, like maybe perhaps I remember when I did with Dogecoin, it was a good, I would say about 8 to 9 months almost of a hold. Definitely much less time than AMC, but that was one wild and fantastic ride. It was an unbelievable ride, and cryptos have that potential. So depending on your outlook of how you see it, or where you're printing and where you're collecting your profits, you're a very bright individual, CSI. So therefore, you know what to do and how you do your handle your business. But I still can't get over the amazing video, or your open letter to Adam Aaron. It was an amazing letter, in my opinion. I love the story of the crow and the fox. It was very beautifully put together. So we appreciate everything you do for the community, CSI, and hopefully you're also sending, as I, tell you, sending my regards to Pops as well. All right, Apple. We missed this one, people. We missed this one. Not necessarily yet. We'll see. Ah, all right. Let's see. Let's see it retest, either breakthrough or breakdown. At this point, it will be more, like I said, a little bit of a chase now at this point. So we'll let this one do its thing. Well, thank you, CSI. That's kind of you. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Aaliyah. Everyone is extremely cool over here. I'm betting the crow jumped the fox, backed his eyes out, picked his eyes out. Uh, that's what we're in it for, brother. It's all about patience. Wait till your rules hit. Definitely. Uh, saying thanks for the DD and the humor over the year. Oh, another thing I couldn't get over at CSI was yesterday's the TA drawing. Oh my god. I can't, man. I can't. I fell. I fell on the ground laughing yesterday. All right. Yeah, we did miss this one. See, it hit that resistance line that we drew earlier, family, and it must be the faulty freaking alert that we set up. It didn't alert us. With that alert, it hit that resistance and it bounced right down underneath it. This is a great scalping, uh, like, area right there. Hidden it, you would expect some sort of rejection, even if it's not something that is very exotic or strong, like that brings the price down, all the way down to here. But even so, like this right there is indeed about a good 10-15% on your position in an options world. And that's great money in my book, Continuing to do that and following through with those fundamentals, you'll be, with a completely looking different portfolio over the course of whatever the next 3 to 6 months. It'll be completely different. But of course, it's all about sticking true to it. Oh, I almost forgot too. I almost forgot. We were looking for Walmart as well, belligerent ideas. I think we've talked about Walmart before. Something that you have about Walmart, I don't know what it is, but I say you got to spill the beans, belligerent ideas. Let us all know what kind of insider info you got so we can get our calls or our puts. Mm-hmm. You know? Let's see. Sanjay. I just go up and look. I see Sanjay's in the house. How are you, my friend? Hulk Smash. What's up, brother? Ape at 84 cents average. Got in AMC at 593. Any opinions? Well, if it's for the chat, everybody feel free to talk. As far as for me, I can't. I mean, I don't have any particular advice, but those are really good averages, cool averages. If you compare to everybody else in the community, you'll see that you're in the bottom bracket of the people who walked into the play. Okay. Sorry, guys, I got preoccupied to see exactly how the chat is set up. Yeah. Did you see my transgender Barbie post on my channel? I gotta go see that one. I think, didn't you post something that had the face circled around it or around Barbie? Oh my God. How did I miss that? Oh, whoa. But I got to go look right back at that. And so I can actually, now that I know what the hell I'm looking for. Welcome to 2023, people. That is true, CSI. Oh, man. The new candlestick pattern. Someone in the Discord came up with that. Oh, I loved it too. Hey, it was very amazing. It was funny when I saw that. It was amazing. All right, let's look back at the charts right here and see what's going on. Walmart belligerent ideas. Walmart has literally nothing exciting as far as for today. As far as where we at though, I mean, today we made a new 52-week high. So this is like, at this point or these levels right here, it's either this thing could continue after the release of the data tomorrow, or the release of the rate hike, if there is one or if there is not. Uh, is this a 52 or an all-time high? Yeah, this is an all-time high. So I would anticipate maybe perhaps watching when this thing could have some weakening, but this is not something that could be maintained for long. Seems like we did have in the pre-market, it was even higher, 161, 65. Um, roughly for this past month, about a month exactly, for this whole month and a half now, sorry. Yeah, about a month and a half, almost 2 months. Um, you would have to watch for around the 153 zone. That's basically the area where the market as a whole found Walmart to be a steal. Just for those 2 months, as oh my God, it's a steal. It's at 153. I'm buying in. Because every time we touch that price zone, we have had some sort of retracement to the top upside. About to sneeze, excuse me for a moment. Please don't do that to me. Just come out, come out. I hate when that happens. That's what happens with allergies in the Ohio weather. However, here this today is still acting on this pop. So again, like you could have a bottom somewhere around here and continue to make higher highs and then higher lows. So if this is the low right here, you need a little more data. Basically, you need another day or so at least to see what's happening. So here, seeing this move up here, if this ends right here tonight or today, and then tomorrow we have the rate hike news and stuff like that. So, oh my God, then you could easily see that if it breaks down below that low and on the open, if it breaks below that low that it makes right here tonight, today, at the end of today, right here somewhere, whether it ends right there or right here, that will be considered the new low. If tomorrow in the pre-market you watch its movements, if it's doing some crazy stuff over here, whether it's going higher or not, then that will initially continue that higher high, then the higher low trend going up. You'll connect the lines between these lows over here and the lines between the highs, and then you will basically get a much better picture on where this thing is heading, and more importantly, when to expect to initiate your position if you are so eager to do so. That does that for Walmart. Does WMT pay dividends? So loading zone 153. Thanks, AB. Go along for next year's news. No belligerent ideas. AB is not saying load up zone anywhere. Say for the past 2 months, that's what the markets have established or took as the good price or steal of a price for this stock. Now that trend can change. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is at that point is if I see that price get hit again, this is for me, not giving financial advice. This is what personally I would do is if I see the 153 zone getting hit again, I'm going to see if that gets respected, just like we saw in all those instances back there. So like if it gets respected and it bounces right off of it to the upside, then that's when I would initiate in that range. If it breaks past it, then at that point, instantly, you would know if it comes back to reclaim that 153 zone, then you're in good hands still. If it's not, then you got to look and see that that particular zone is no longer the market's expectations. The market will be sending in new and different things. Let's see. I got Gorilla Grodd. What's up, my friend? And you're singing too? Yes, it does. Thanks for answering, Alice. It does pay dividends. Oh man, there's no way we'll find a trade like this. uh, we got belligerent ideas taking us off to Walmart and stuff. Oh man, nothing but love. See, told you guys on Apple we missed that right there. Look at that. Fudge. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. We already got in a couple of good trades earlier today. Now it's about seeing exactly what will happen throughout the day for this. This thing just touched its 200 on the 1 minute. Apple's good on the 1. Excuse me. It's about to touch its 50-day on the 5 minute. That's interesting. This would be, watch, before even looking at the SPY, this would be very indicative. You're going to see some red, like similar to this action right here in the SPY. If I was to click on it, see that? In fact, the SPY is a little bit more delayed behind Apple, but because the reason for that is because Apple is one of the biggest things that have weight into the SPY, but there's still many things that go into the S&P 500. But most of it at times is Apple, and we see that move right here, right now. Will that be anything? Not necessarily. This is the setup right here now for something perhaps lucrative, because I'm gonna wait for it now to hit this range in the 554.76 range. If it doesn't hit it throughout the day, then I don't need to chase anything. Right here, right now, it's too risky for me. Yeah, if that is too choppy. This thing has 256 all over it throughout today at some point. But again, the premiums on the call side is reactive to this green action, so they're more expensive right now. So for me, I wait. I wait until it comes to me. When it comes to me, then we will go about it differently. Oh man. All right, we'll leave the SPY right there. Again, there's not much going on after the morning. Like after the initial opening, that's when you are more susceptible to making your most money, if any, in the SPY, unless it's a day like, for example, tomorrow. You make your money in the morning, unless you lose. And then you also make it after the announcement, or when that's the announcement of the rate hike. That's another point. And then 20 minutes later or 30 minutes later, when the actual press conference, with Jay Powell. That's another third chance. That's why we look as day traders forward for days like tomorrow. And if there's nothing much, arguably so, like for the day before that, even though we have earnings and stuff. So right now, we need to focus on. We got Microsoft and Google and Snap. Let's take a look at Snap. At the same time, let me roll down, look at AMC. Okay, AMC battling back 10%. Good job. AMC, AMC, AMC. Let's see. What are you guys saying over here? What is Belligerent Idea saying? I'll just keep throwing out lures till you catch a fish, AB. You don't have to, brother. We're good right now. We've caught a few already. Early in the morning. Early bird catches the fish. Let's see. What is Snap? This could be a setup now at this point for tomorrow's plays, you know? Because there will definitely be some volatility into these plays, whether to the up or to the downside is for us to see or try to figure out. Where are we over here with Snapchat? Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Ooh, that's interesting. So it just broke underneath its 200-day moving average from the, so basically initiated a semi-death cross already right there just recently, just what, today, pre-market, or yesterday, throughout yesterday, yeah, throughout yesterday's market. So that's interesting. Will it be a divergence and flip right back up like what happened here? Back here, back in June 14th. However, it's also fair noting that 1389 back in July 13th, so a couple of weeks ago, this thing reached that top or the 52-week high on the year, which means right now being at 1247, it's an interesting range that we're in. Okay, let's go back further out a bit. Okay. Well, at least there's some clues. So right now, I need to see before the close this 1267. Problem is that that acts as resistance for so many times. So is it going to poke out of this as it poked right here out of that resistance for such a long trend for over 6 months, and then break right underneath, or will it be a fake basically where it broke that resistance and come right back underneath it because the buyers couldn't keep it up there? I want to see if this line that I drew right there will hold, which is that 1267 range. I need to see that line being respected in order for me to think about more upside. And give me, ooh. So 2 weeks ago, we covered this gap. Now we're set for another one all the way up to 20. You know what? This is interesting. This is an interesting setup for Snap. Maybe. I don't do too much YOLO, guys, but maybe this is time for some YOLO. Maybe I'll put my YOLO shoes on today. Hmm. Okay. Not much volume. Good. I like. Okay. Screw this. So what? We'll go for it. But since it's right in that resistance and that support level, if it breaks past it, it's going to break past it with ease and beautifulness to the upside. If it doesn't, then um, then I have to get some puts to make sure that I take care of myself and basically open up myself to either and leverage my position. All right. It's fun to have some fun sometimes, guys. This is the YOLO moment. Well, not YOLO as in like I'm going with my half of my portfolio on this. No, just a small amount, very minuscule, but it's worth it. Let's see. Why not? All right. Wait on it to basically go through. Let's see right here. SPY still doing what it's doing. The SPY is looking more and more cool now to play twice, maybe to play later on tonight. Not tonight, in the evening before the close. And then it looks like it's going to try to retest that 50-day. But again, it's making higher highs and higher lows, which means it's like that. What I told you as far as the 456 is bound to do that. Most likely it could. However, it did have resistance here at that 455.60. We want to see that being broken if you are on the upside. In the same time, you do want it to not dip below 455.24 to confirm that you still are up on that upward trend. In the same time, I do see these crosses of the MACD could flip at any time. Again, it's a reactionary what do you call it, indicator. So it could change up on the price spike, but in the same time, there's not enough movement and volume right now. As you can see, all this is happening right now. This is why I said the volatility As soon as the market opens, you get yourself in 9:30, 9:20, 8:29. You have your orders ready. You've seen what is forming in the pre-market. You know what you want to do through here. Like I told you guys in the beginning of the stream of what was so beautiful about this play and this jumping into this. Oh my God, it was just so beautiful. I had my orders ready. I was able to catch that train. Boom. Caught it, cashed out right at my resistance level right there. It peaked up above it, like I said, but again, it did it all so fairly quickly, which helps the IV on my contracts, on my calls. So that's the beauty. Now, this action, this crap, taking 3 hours, this is terrible action. So you want to make sure, as we said, that it does not go below the 455.24 level. So right now, it is on the way of doing so. Let's see if it respects that. Let's look at AMC. Okay, AMC, this is, I think the second, yeah, it made this low on the day at 503, and it's trying to bounce off of it. But again, this is not a complete bounce. It's building these sequences of higher highs and higher lows, but we need to see something a little more drastic. We need to go past these levels over here to have and to be a little bit more nice. There's this, there's that. So break this, break through this. Now we're talking going into the end of the day. Volume is stagnant at 36 million. I wonder who's pushing it down, blocking it. Palantir up 2%. Some news I think was issued today about Palantir. What happened with Palantir? Never mind. Let's look at Amazon. Back up. Not much. Again, look at this. In between this $1 range all day. Man, God bless you if you played any options on Amazon today. Like, you must have been either, if you're still in, you're pulling your hair out. If you're out, you just got out with either your money out and or barely any, like a coffee cup money. Look, Mara and Riot are doing the good moves right here. SPY, again, just consolidating right there. It looks like it did respect that that move. Microsoft is another important one to look at today, as we got earnings after hours. Let's do a little due diligence on Microsoft. This back here happened back on the 18th, which was last week, a week and a half ago. Yeah, last week. I remember that when it picked up the SPY with it too, along with it. It was a crazy big action. It went off from like right here, 346 all the way to 366. Like, whew. Money, 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 money. Okay, there's a little sequence in this, but I don't see too much into this. You guys got to remember, not every stock you have to play. Literally, go and you're as a successful trader, your job to yourself, your duty to yourself, is to try to find the easiest trade you can get in for the least amount of risk for the most amount of reward. That's what your duty to yourself is as a trader. Look, the SPY definitely respected that. Will 456 be inbound? Let's look at Nvidia and Google. Google, okay, it had a little doji right there, doji candle, and that indicates a reversal in the current or whatever the past trend was. Before it was this selling trend. But let's see what we got going on with Google here. These plays will most likely be like Tesla and Netflix. Like, probably stay tuned before the market close. I might put like some information on the community tab. You know, put in at least my predictions on what would ultimately happen in these after hours to these plays, like the Microsoft, Google, and I'm waiting to see if Snap would go right through. Come on, Snappy, Snappy. Let's see. What do we have here? I was away from the chat for a while. Is everything good? D, how are you, my friend? Nice to have you in here. Do you think the SPY is dropping in tomorrow after the info or priced in? The priced in part is for sure, Pabloco. A couple weeks ago, when they released the CPI data, that's when they price in the, believe it or not, that's when they price in the rate hike. So if you go, let's see if I have it right here saved. If you go to this website, people, and it is if you go to this, let's see how I can type this because I don't want to switch away from the screen of that Weeble. Or actually, hold on. You're gonna see a black screen, and now first you didn't see me, now you do. All right. So if you go to this website called cmegroup.com, this website basically puts out the targets and the, like what the percentage is on the target rate probabilities for for example, whatever the upcoming Fed's meeting. So this was already priced in as soon as the CPI data came out. This thing is projecting 98.9%, a quarter of 25 basis points, basically. And so basically the market reacted to or already priced in a quarter or 2.25 or 25 basis points already from the release of the CPI data. Good question, by the way. So this website right there will is always and just about almost very, very freaking accurate. And it waits basically for the CPI data to be basically released, and instantly it will factor in its percentage of what it predicts. Um, I personally like I use this as a second measure to go through with, like, and say, like, you know what, I already think is gonna be this. Let's see what CME group has to say. When I go to that, I'll see what they say, and if it matches, I was like, you know what, good. That's double points right there, double verification. But if it's not, then I will be like, how did they find this? You know, how did they come up with this? What did I miss in the CPI data that they didn't? Um, I've already factored in it was going to be a quarter coming, so they already priced that into the market. Now, what wouldn't be factored into the market is that most of the people in the market do not know, unless it's institutions, they do not know this kind of stuff like this. They look at things completely different, and they think that they're always reacting to the news. In other words, feel me? And that's what gets these that's what gets retail. Sorry, I'm trying to switch it back to the chart. Now you don't see me, and now you do. Hmm. Hopefully that answers the question, brother. Now, on top of all of that, Pabloco, um, you would still have, like, we're still in the earnings season. You're still having people react to just about everything that is being priced in right now from the plays and all that stuff. So the volatility is there. Now, the one thing that people will not probably be paying attention to that will be moving much, it might just be the VIX. That's the one thing that could be moving. The new transgender. Hey, common sense. Thanks for that one, man. Oh man. Okay, I'm getting really thirsty. There isn't much here. That's why I'm just choosing to go with the snap. There's this. Like we said again, it needs to respect that 320, 455.24 level. So let's see if it doesn't. That means we'll start a new sequence. Or this perhaps could be the moment where the play will switch up to the 456 range. Continues this move to the upside. Again, not much volume. Market maker for the past few weeks um, have literally been like eradicating the volume leading up to this rate hike talk. Eventually, until they uh, goes through, and then it will be a different situation afterwards. You'll see probably a different trading spy. That's for since then it's just been mornings and at the close. So in the morning and right at the close, which might most likely be the case that where I would trade another one if I have to trade another one. I don't have to. I had 3 successful ones this morning, so if I have to, it will most likely on the SPY in particular, it will be at the very close-in hours. David Stevens, how are you, my friend? Hey, have a great evening, CSI. I'll holla at you later, brother. Thanks for stopping by and appreciate the love. This doggy dog in this rat race. So, Stevens. Oh man, Peter, it's all about Azure growth for Microsoft, which has been declining over the past few quarters. Exactly. That's a good insight right there, Peter. But again, I still have to see which is very indicative too, especially for the fact of where it was and now where it is, as far as last week when it broke up and took the spy with it. But again, as you mentioned, for the past few quarters, Azure has been terrible. So yet Microsoft has been basically to new highs just most recently. So basically, yeah, we could take that, but we got to take that with a little bit of a grain of salt, like what you mentioned about Azure, because we can't keep we can't expose ourselves to a trade like assuming that okay, yeah, all the indicators show that it'll be down. However, you can't just have yourself exposed only to that narrative and then next thing you know, you're open to suddenly they go up and they announce something completely different. Again, it's not only about the earnings. What moves the stocks is what the money is making it do. So when the market decides this is what's going to happen with it, all the fundamentals go straight out of the window. So if the major whales want to pump Microsoft, even if they have the most disastrous earnings, Microsoft will go up like whatever 2, 3%, 4%, and you like people will be like, how? Like you just mentioned something right there, Peter, by on Azure, like how? But expectations, remember, expectations. The analysts were basically given expectations to raise their expectations, even if they're terrible, make it seem legit. It's okay. It's a different market, so be more nice to these companies on your rating. Um, 3M, yeah, didn't they report earlier this morning, Pablo? The Zen holder, hey, what's up, my friend? Thanks for all the info. Is there a way to see the ticker you're talking about? Your display has a watermark overlay of live comments, and I can't see the ticker symbol. Oh, hold on. Can you see it now? Sorry. Look, the market maker is literally like destroying people right now. Like I like there's you got the bulls and the bears on the spy, and they're like, just get it over with. Like either we break this trend or we continue past it. Like stop doing this. Like they're all if they're in this play right now, this is why like when the spy is like this, you don't touch it throughout the day unless you're trying to scalp with like $50,000. You walk in, you scalp this part right here or this part right here, and you get out right here, or you get in right here and you get out right there, literally like a 2% or a 5%. Because that's with 50K position, you're talking about 2,500 to about almost 5K, depending on when you get out and profits. So that's what the whales do is that they pump and dump this thing through these massive positions. But again, if you're getting in let's say with a 2, 3 thousand or $4 or $5,000 position, which is sizable, especially when it's an option that is due that day, and you're trying to go from here and then expect to just pull it out right there, that's great profits, but you just risked when you think about it logically, you just risked 5,000 so that you can make 600. While that is good in business terms, but since it's not going to be something that is going to be very sustainable for the future, so you might get off with that one. But since it's in a no man's land and no man's zone, in a gray area where it's and the volume is like this, and it's too much. You're putting up too much to reach so little. You see? So that's why you zoom out, you go back here, you look at this. This is the beauty. At the market open, and then as you can see right here, if we go back, at the market close, it was at 453 and it bounced back to about 454.25 from 43. That's a sizable move. And you're talking about only in about less than 20 minutes, it did that. You're good to go. You see what I'm saying? But besides that, throughout the rest of the day, this stuff right here, oh, I just moved the trend line. Well, this stuff right here, like after this initial pop in the morning, this is no bueno. Maybe riding it from here to there, but you would have been so annoyed. You would have been in it from, and you would have to play exactly in the money calls too, not out of the money. So from 10:56 all the way to literally almost 12 o'clock. So almost an hour or so, you had to hold this play, hoping that every time you've seen some chop action, that it continues to go up. And all this chopping action right here and that time decay took so much out of your premium amount. And even if you exited right there at the top, again, that's no looking back at it now, it's easy to see. But exiting right there, you would have been so wrecked mentally just because of finally got there on such small volume. So see this? Like these pops are not interesting for me right now. I need to see volatility. I need to see more volume. I need, if I don't see that volume at least, I need to see very, very important levels like these lines being respected or touched upon, and that's when you can get my attention. Um, Apple 193.67 again, not interesting right now. The whole market is not interesting, except of maybe the after hours play of Snap. For me, most likely it looks like it just might be calls. Not financial advice. I'm willing to roll the dice on this one. As I said, this is my YOLO one. Like the YOLO mindset one. Not YOLO money or putting half of the portfolio on it. Hell no. Oh my God. All right, people. I gotta go handle some business and come back to the market before it closes. So perhaps I could catch the SPY at a moment and then see what's up with Microsoft and Google before the market closes. Perhaps something opens up in the like some opportunity opens up on the charts. I will most likely put up an info on the community tab, so stay tuned with that to see if you care about seeing the predictions. The no on your live. Oh, I know what. Okay, okay, okay. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Okay, okay. I was like, the comments shouldn't be in there. That's a good point. Okay, okay. You're seeing the the okay on the live itself. All right. Actually, that's good. Since the lives are going to be on the or the chat. See what happens, Zen holder, is that after we post a live, it takes a good period of amount of time for the chats because they go through a YouTube filter process or whatever. So it goes through like 24 or 48 hours of them uh, not showing the chat of of that live until after those 24 or 48 hours, the chats will all, or the live chat will load up then. And when it does, it's like most people who look at the video, they want to see the stuff, so maybe perhaps to see the live chat. But fair point. I think you know what, we will remove it. I see it now that I'm looking at it from here personally. I'm seeing the same thing that you're seeing. So you know what? We will on the next live. I'll take this off as I'm leaving right now. Anyways, brother, thanks for pointing that out. That's very, very good, and like that's good for me to know and to see that. I wouldn't have seen that except when you told me, because I'm always looking at my view, not seeing that one. You got it, sir. And in fact, a second. How about that? There you go. We deleted it just for you, my friend. All right, people. It is time for me to go. I gotta get ready and end up for prayers. Let's take one final look at our AMC. First SPY 5548. Amazon. Tesla 267. BBIG down 13. SPCE is in a beautiful place. I might have to add some more from the profits of today to this. This thing is in a, I have a position in SPCE and I love it. AMC back down to 11%, still at $5.17. Still in a good area, people. Like I told you, I will leave you with this at least for today. If anything happens in after hours, I'll not shy away from reporting to you, family. And if we want to check out any of on the community tab, any of the predictions and stuff on as far as Microsoft and stuff like that, if I see anything, I will post it on the community tab section. Right here, again, we're still good for 486. Either way, between underneath 533 is when we broke down to this final line of resistance and support, as I personally see, because breaking in this zone right now, our last support is at 486. Yeah, we made a low right here at 503, but I think that 486, if tested, will give some support. We break past that, then you could at that point say, okay, this thing touches back 486 and stays under, then you could say that yes, they have killed this move right there for the foreseeable future. As you know, one report by a credible source like whether Judge Zern or maybe perhaps an individual shutting their rear behind up, would cause this stock to do some unbelievable gains in such a short amount of period of time, maybe less than an hour, right? We all know that. Now, with that being said, thank you all. I like the fact that you like it. Thank you, Zen Holder. Pabloklo, peace out, brother. Uh, Thank you, Aaliyah. Appreciate you being here, and congrats and appreciate you being a part or accepting the mod status. It's always good because I know Pabloko is persistent, Jam Bams is persistent, Shirley is persistent. Many CSI comes and goes. Not that I expect him to be, of course, a moderator. It's just so I can see that when he's in. Adrian is persistent, and all these people are persistent. So therefore, it's always good to have owning the float, Mike owning the float, as one of my closest brothers as well. Coming in, and it's always good to have one of you guys at least at any time we go live. Not that you guys gotta feel any pressure. At the end of the day, look at this. Look at this family. Look at this family. This family doesn't need somebody to moderate them or any of that. It's rare occasions that we get some shills who are lost and they got to be dealt with. And that's where you guys do an amazing job at and taking care of that. So I appreciate all of you guys. As you can see, my voice is ready enough to get lost again. So a bunch of warm tea. Mimi again. Hey, what's up? Thank you. Appreciate it. The honor is all mine, Aaliyah. Smith, peace out, my friend. DB Taveras, good day. Good day to you, my friend, as well. Again, stay tuned, guys, in the community tab. I will post something, perhaps either about the SPY, but again, the SPY, if it's going to be for a day trade, is going to be too late by the time of the people see it and react to it. I will put however I feel about it. That does not mean at all times it's never financial advice. As I call it, predictions. And whenever I say I'm getting into something or doing something, it's also because I'm willing to jump in and lose, perhaps if my technicals are indeed wrong in that particular moment in time. Now, with all that being said, let's hope that snap order goes through. And with all that being said, much love, AB Investments. Thank you all.